do a bit of a deep dive into how to stand up today because we've been constantly drilling it, constantly going over it, but there's a couple of points I think we always need to make sure we cover when we're standing up, and that makes the whole process a bit easier. So essentially we have, at the very least, I have 3 different methods that I prefer for standing up. Okay, so in terms of hand fighting, the grips I want to get, and how I actually get up, I have sort of 3 methods that I like to use. The first one is kind of the optimal situation. It's the best, but it's also the one you're least likely going to get, to be quite frank. So it's, yeah, so I'm able to get his hand, get a 201 grip, and really important here is I'm not holding his hand. Because my muscles against his, he can really easily just pull it out. What I'm doing is I'm shifting my weight forward and pinning that hand on his stomach with my body weight. Okay? From here, I can use the trap side, and notice how I'm using this to twist him a bit as well. This gives me a bit more control over that arm. And I can stand up like this, okay? And notice how my feet are apart. I don't want to stand up here because now I am still giving him one leg at the very least, because I eventually have to let go of this arm. Okay, so what I want to do instead is I'm going to have it here. Yeah, he can't get it. And I bring that one to his tailbone. Yeah, exactly. And then with the other leg, I step back, and then I'm able to open the guard without any real danger of him being able to sweep me. My legs are always outside of his grip, and I have a nice stable position here when I open up, okay? He can't really do the idiot sweep from here. Tripod sweep's going to be hard because I've got that arm, okay? So again, this is the best, but realistically speaking, you're going to get this one the least as well, just because it's the easiest one for him to fight his way out of. And it requires you to get this 2-on-1 grip on his arm, which is hard. Because to be quite frank, it's hard to get. Because he knows I want this, so the minute he sees me doing this, exactly, yeah, and we start doing all of this sorts of stuff. So this is the best one. It's the one I always teach first, but realistically speaking, it's the one you're least likely going to get, so it's the one I like to kind of preface with that. So again, coming here, not holding with our strength, with our body weight. Notice how my arms are straightened. Okay, I'm not doing this. Now he doesn't have any weight on him. Exactly. I do this. Now he's got the weight on him. Stand up. Use that to twist his body a bit as well. Come up with that leg nice and far away. This leg now comes to his tailbone. And see how he's already opening the guard. Okay? And I still have the hand. Now I move my arm, my foot back. And I've got now inside position on his legs. I can go into a stable pass or whatever from here. Okay? Clear what I want to see?
Yep.
Okay, so let's work on that. Okay, that was the most common stand-up situation. Now we're going to get to one that's more common than the other one. That's why I think I get this one probably about 50% of the time, so it's much more reliable than the last one. It's not as preferable, but it's still a good option. This is the one you've all also seen, is we come up here. And I have a bit of a variation of this that I do, because I always want to take the power out of his arms, okay? I can do a lot of that with weight, but I can do it a lot more if I can get his elbows over his head, okay? We're weaker in this position than we are in, think about, you do bench press like this, not like this. This is actually, I think there's like something like a push-up variation where you're doing like that, and the whole point is your body is weaker like this, so it's harder for you to do. So I want to kind of put him into that position. So I start here in the biceps like normal, and then I shove up, and I re-grip so that my thumb is in his elbow, okay? And just here, try to bring your arms down. Yeah, I mean, you can, but it's a lot more work. And I'm not using my weight, I'm just framing it. Yeah, exactly, I'm just stiff arming him. Yeah, this is a really awkward position for him now. Yeah. And then from here, now I come up in my A-form position, I bring my head over his head, and my hips high. Now I've got my weight on his arms as well. This is a nice pin. He's really going to have a hard time getting his arms out of this now. And now, really important, I walk with little baby steps because I want my knees to end on his butt, okay? And once I get here, I don't just stand up, I walk with my hands up his body. That's going to give me the leverage to be able to stand up confidently and stably without having to move my legs. Yeah, you can still grab, but it's hard. Yeah, you don't have a good grip. And from here, I do the same opening I did last time. One knee is in his butt, and the other extends. And from here, I can go back into my stable position, and then I can start to pass. Okay. So, showing that one more time. So this is a bit of a personal variation I do of it because it has less danger. It takes a little while longer to set up, but you're in less danger. If I don't like this one at all. Yeah, exactly. I don't like this at all, just because his arms are too mobile. He can use his arms. Yeah, exactly. He can start, yeah, I mean, if you, yeah, exactly. Yeah, now I'm in danger. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, this is better. I have a better control of his arms. Personally, I prefer this the best. Because now I've gotten a lot of this power out of our arms, and when I put my weight on it, the arms are pretty dead. Now I've got a good control over it, and I've got my nice A stand up. My head is low, my hips are high. I don't want to be like this, because you feel less power on your arms, right? Yeah, yes, yeah, exactly. I want to be like this. Now you can try pulling me down. I'm not going anywhere, okay? And just walk up until your knees touch his butt, then you start walking up with the hands. And then you break this guard, staple sit, and then from here you go into your staple passes. Okay? So the main thing is, again, get those arms over his head, and again, don't just try to stand up with your head, just walk up his body with your hands. Okay? If you're training with a girl, she might get the wrong impression, but it's Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, it's Jiu-Jitsu, it's not a sexual thing. The third method of standing up I generally use, this is also, especially when someone's good at close guard, this is the one that's going to happen the most. Just to be honest, this is most likely going to happen because if he's good at playing guard, especially close guard, he wants to break me down. So he's probably going to do a knee pull or wrap my head or something, and I'm going to be in here, okay? So, and this is the situation. In gi, it's different. In gi, I've got the lapels and everything. I can use that to start bracing and get my posture up. I can grab the hips, I can go here, I can grab the gi, the pants and everything. It's a different situation. In no gi, to be quite frank, if you're always waiting to get like perfect posture and do this or get this, and you don't have an option for when he's broken you down, you're probably never going to get out the guard. Just because, to be quite frank, if he's good at playing close guard, he's going to break you down. It's going to happen. Okay? So what we're going to do is just stand up when he's broken us down. That's why this kind of A stand that I always do is so important. So we're assuming he's broken us down, and just assuming we're here. Our first priority, I need to get my hands back into inside position. Here. Okay, I need my hands between his arms. Okay? From here, I just go into my A sit. And now, just like before, I walk up his body, and now I can open the guard like I was doing it before. Okay? That's why we don't want to sit up. That's why if we don't have an arm pinned or something, that's why we don't want to sit up like this. Because if he's broken me down, I'm never going to be able to get all of this weight from his body back, so I don't try. Instead, I get my inside position, and I bring my hips out. Walk forward, walk up, and now I can break the guard. Okay? And the cool thing is once you have all three, that's where things start to get interesting and you transition from one to the other. Okay? So let's say he breaks me down. Okay, I come in here, I start to pummel the arms in and get here. Okay, now I can do the second one. Okay, let's say he starts to resist. I try to get here, he starts to resist. Oh look, now I get the first one. Okay, then he sees that coming, he tries to break me down again. Okay, now I go back to the third one. And you can just start cycling through with whatever he gives you. Okay? Because his options are going to have to be one of those three. He either breaks me down, he tries to push my arms away, or he gives me the frames. Okay? And we get him into a nice sort of trilemma so that I have an answer to everything he can do. So I'm going to be able to stand up eventually. And eventually he's going to get tired because I'm always one step ahead of him because every reaction he has gives me what I want. Okay? So let's drill that a bit and then we'll do some sparring.